Wasif Khan. I am a PhD student at UAE University, and I am working on machine learning and computer vision problems for mainly for civil infrastructures. For instance, today's presentation is related to that. We use multimodal ensemble classifier for crack detection in concrete structures. So I will explain them in a moment. Now, starting from the introduction, is cracks. We usually see the cracks, which are the primary concern, and everything start from the cracks. For example, cracks at the beginning, and then it goes slowly, and God forbid, maybe like something bad could happen. So the first thing we need to do is take care of this. So maybe usually a visual usually a team of inspector go to the place, like we can see in the paper in the figure, and they inspect like if there is any problem or maybe some health issue, structural health issue or something. But it's, we can see here, it takes a lot of time, laborious and maybe costly, and sometimes it's involved human, so maybe human error also could happen. And the second thing is most of the sites we can see on the right side that maybe they are inaccessible sometimes. So we need something which we could do, like maybe even offline or even online, remotely, using some computer vision problem. So motivated from this problem, we propose that we will use an addition that many people have used other thing. So we use multi-model ensemble classifier. We will explain them in a moment as well. So how people are tackling to this issue? For example, there are traditional machine learning problems, and another one is automatic feature learning problem, like deep learning based approaches. So traditional machine learning features, problems are usually we take the images and then we extract useful information from that images. For instance, cracks information from the images using some feature engineering. Like we will say, okay, crack features look like this, and we tell the pattern of the crack to that algorithm, and they will be able to identify, okay, this is the cracks, or this is maybe the structure of the architecture. On the other hand, the deep learning based techniques are they automatic. We give the training data to network, and they automatically detect some pattern based on the training data, and they learn from themselves. So there is no need for feature engineering. So we opt for the later one, and we use a deep learning based algorithm in our paper. Traditional, we take the images and then we extract the features like I mentioned before, and then we use some classification algorithm, for instance SVM, famous one, or maybe Canon, etc., and we get the accuracy. On the other hand, we can just take the images, maybe pre-process them a little bit, and then give it to some algorithm, and we can get the result as well. But the later one is maybe everyone has their ups and downs, but the later one is the better. For instance, that since now we have a very everywhere is like computational resources are not that expensive, so and this not much human knowledge is required. So that's why many people are using deep learning based algorithms. Okay, so what we use is, for example, sometimes when you use one model, it will give you some accuracy. Another one you use, maybe it gives you something near to that accuracy, and so on. So what we did is we said, okay, we will use 5 different models, CNN based model, like deep learning based model, and we will combine them at the end using some criteria. For example, like majority voting, or maybe we will take the average of their prediction, and we will say that, okay, this is the result. Let's say we say that, okay, there are 3 people, and I'll explain here. So let's say we have 3 people, and 2 of them say that, okay, it might be a crack, but one of them say it is not a crack. So we can see here, like maybe 2 people are correct, but one is maybe he's not that sure it might be correct. So we'll say, okay, majority of the people say that it is a correct, so we will opt for that it is a correct, although one of them is not sure about that. So imagine you are using only one model instead of three, and that one model is the last person I mentioned that he said it is not a crack. So it will be a misclassification, which we will try to avoid. So that's why we use multi-models and then combine them using some criteria. The database we use is like it is a publicly available data set we obtained from two different sources, and it contains like around 17, nearly 17,000 images. This is a binary classification task like correct and non-correct. This is a general architecture of convolutional neural network. We take the images, we give the images to convolutional layers, and then we give it to the ReLU like, and then make spool like downsample it, and then it goes to the next layer, and so on. So this is like a general architecture of the convolutional neural network. It contains like convolution layers, activation like some like maybe remove some neurons or something. So and then make spooling down, sample it, and fully connect it then, and then give it to the classifier. Our proposed is ensemble model is like I mentioned even before that. Let's say we have three models, and then two of them say that okay, the prediction is A, and the third one say it is B. So we'll take the majority of them. So since here is majority is A, so we say the final prediction is A. Similarly, if we say that let's say instead of taking the final class, we can also maybe take the average of the probabilities, because they will say A, the probability that it would be A is maybe, let's say, 0.9. So it's 90% accurate, and they will say that it is A. So we'll take that accurate probability, and then we take the average of them. So it's like different kind of ensembling. We use three of them to make sure that our results are optimal. Similarly here, like this is just an idea, like maybe if you don't use it, so it will be a diverse model combination, and when you use it, so it will make you even more better ensemble model. Our experimental result shows that it is this is like our architecture, what on what system did we use them, and then the proposed architecture we have shown it, and this is the these are the parameters of each algorithm. What was model number 1, CNN model 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are tutorial view of that. This is the result from CNN model 1, which contains around 1.19 million parameters. The accuracy of one model is around 92.8%. Similarly, for the two, it has like 0.9 million parameter, but like the accuracy was 97%, and similarly for model 3, it was around 95% accuracy, and so on. Like so, this was number 4, and then we used model number 5, of course. This is the R of C curve. So when we combine them, we found that ensemble model achieved better result as compared to individual model, and like the highest accuracy was from the majority voting, like I showed you in the picture. So the majority voting was the best compared to other ensemble model techniques, and all of the ensemble model techniques was better than the individual classifier. So like the ensemble was around 99% accuracy, and the weighted and non-weighted average was around 98 and 98.9% respectively. This is like the table of the whole result for model number 1, 2, and all of them, and then finally the majority voting, and then the unweighted and weighted average classifier. So on the right side, we can see like the testing accuracy. We can also like we can see from the table that there are confusion metrics, crack and non-crack testing accuracy, and then also other performance metrics such as precision, recall, and F-score. So what did we conclude from here is I'll just explain it quickly, that when you use majority or like ensemble classifier, the chances that it will increase the accuracy from the base classifier are very high, because there is a chance that multi algorithms will involved here. And we also, maybe there is a hypothesis, I will explain it a moment, that the hypothesis is that we will say that, okay, the base classifier need to be good enough to, let's say, maybe all of them, if all of them is maybe 98, 98, 98, and then we ensemble them, so the overall accuracy will be best compared to any individual classifier. But the drawback, which is the drawback of our work as well, I explain it here. The drawback here is, what if maybe 3 models are good but 2 models are poor? So when you ensemble them, there is a chance that the ensemble model is poor compared to the best base model. So this is one of the drawback which we try to inshallah, consider them in our future work. And also we use concrete structure in the future. We'll use some bridges and hopefully some masonry structure as well. This is the conclusion. Different we'll add more data damage types, and also mention it again that the one of the main disadvantages, this is the base model dependent method. So thank you very much for your listening, and if you have any question, please ask me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wasif, for the very clear presentation, very informative. I personally learned a few things myself. Any question for Wasif?